What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rink Side Chatter. I am Shadow, alongside, as always, Dusty. Tonight we don't have Scals, but we have probably the better team from New York's biggest fan, which is Kim. Welcome on. How are you?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
So, how was your guys' week this week with your hockey teams?
Not horrible. Games I can go into not horrible in the win column aspect. We won against Florida in regulation. We beat Carolina in overtime. We just lost against New Jersey this past week in the last seconds. But
As
so
a Leaf
otherwise
fan-
2 wins, 1 loss going from this week.
Listen, as a Leaf fan, we appreciate any team that beats teams in our division. So,
Yeah.
Dusty,
Yeah,
Yeah, Florida, I was kind of shocked, but we played well against them, but third periods are another story about the Islanders.
third period leads.
Yeah.
Safe.
It's coaching. Coaching because I think in the last 13, 14, even more than that, we've had leads. We've had 1 goal leads or 2 goal leads going into the third period. 9 of them we have blown leads in the third period, resulting in a loss. I think 12 or 13 we add 4 or 5 on top of that. We've blown the lead in the third, but are still able to win. So this has been a huge problem with the New York Islanders.
I mean, you don't have to tell us about blowing third period leads. We've been through years of that.
It's been tough. It's been really tough.
So,
Yeah,
Dusty,
that's
you
what
watched...
the week's been with the Leafs, eh?
Well, I mean, me and you last week said that they weren't even going to get a win this week. It was going to come in overtime.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, pretty much.
That Florida game was crazy. I don't know. That double tap alone was just.
It's not the first time we've seen it, though. Actually, it was last time. I think it was Toronto that was the culprit on that, because Toronto thought they won against the Penguins, the last team to do that, and Toronto actually double tapped, and Penguins won in shootout.
I don't think it was Toronto. I think it was the Rangers and Penguins. I remember. My wife's the huge.
Yeah, I think it was the Rangers.
Was it Rangers? I thought it was Toronto.
Yeah. No, it was.
I think someone else did something and they said it was the Rangers.
It was the Rangers.
But yeah,
okay.
That is. It's not something you see a whole lot. All the players go into the dressing room and they all come back out.
Yeah,
and
everyone left.
No,
I remember there was Penguins fans who left the arena and they came out with their phones we won.
Yeah, right. It's a crazy circumstance, and I guess Florida fans on Twitter were just having a shit fit about it, saying that we were conspiring against them. We thought we lost.
No,
we were ready to leave the ice too.
It was a double hit.
Yeah, it was definitely a double hit.
It was 100% a double hit. I don't know how you can fight against that.
Well,
and last
Paul Maurice doesn't like the rules being called.
Yeah, you got to give it to fit. Sometimes officiating with the replays, you're yeah, okay, I see it. And then there's the other half where you're what the.
Then there's Paul Maurice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Officiating is a whole other topic with this league. It's some nights they're calling every single call, and then other nights they're missing blatant calls right in front of them, and
calling everyone on the ice with 10-minute misconduct.
Yeah, yeah, that was funny. This is that.
What the? I remember waking up and seeing that, and going, "What the hell?"
I didn't even understand the context.
10-minute misconduct to everyone on the ice.
Fucking Oprah Winfrey.
Somebody get 10 minutes. That.
90. It was what was it 99 penalty minutes?
Yeah, over 100. It was over 100 penalty minutes in just the third period or something like that.
Jesus Christ!
What was the circumstances behind that? Because I missed it. I woke up just
Him.
What is happening?
Full out line brawl on the ice.
Yeah, Ottawa was getting blown out by Florida. That was the night before they played Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're getting blown out. I think it was 5-0. And the Kachuk brothers were at each other even.
That's just so wrong, because you know what? At that point, the refs have lost the game. They've lost, officiating the game. They haven't done, their part to where, and then frustrations rise, and you could tell the officials lost the game. And their way to fix that is to penalize everybody. That I don't. Yeah. That's so stupid.
I see that a lot.
And that's problem with officiating right now.
I mentioned
games get out of hand, and then the refs go, "Oh, we let this game get out of hand. Now we got to control it."
That's not controlling it.
A couple episodes we talked about officiating, and I brought up minor league hockey, which my son plays in, and I watched these progression, and the refs don't call shit right from the beginning. The games get out of hand, even with kids. And I've seen my kid cleanly laid out a kid last week, and there was no call. And I'm going, what? Why isn't there a call? Like, my kid should have been penalized, and I made that point clear to him when he got off the ice. But at that point,
It was
the
clean
refs,
though, like.
it was super clean. But at their age, or at least where he's playing, body contact is a penalty.
I got it.
So he should have got a penalty.
Oh.
It was super clean though. I was super proud of the hit, but at the same time, I got to be an asshole about it.
Yeah, because I was like in soccer, like we didn't get penalized as long as it was clean.
So being a dad, being a dad with your kids in hockey, and do you believe contact should be brought up right away with kids, right when they start skating, right when they're starting to allow contact?
The entire time I played in my life, it was contact right from when we actually started playing games. And it was only I had this discussion today. It was only taken out 9 years ago because Hockey Canada decided it wasn't in there because kids weren't hitting properly.
Oh man, no, I wasn't allowed to hit until I think I was like 11. I think they make it. Or full contact.
Think about it. I played rep or however you want to look at it. I played rep my entire life. I didn't play no house leagues and stuff like that. So we were allowed to hit right from the get-go. I also grew up out west.
Yeah. Well, I grew up playing, house league, church league, whatever you want to call it. I was a plug and wasn't good enough for any of that. But anyway, they allow you to contact at I think it was 12, 13 years old. It's that's a great time to allow contact when kids are becoming teenagers and just want to fucking learn to kill each other now.
I had a sad father moment today. It's hockey related. Driving back from practice, and I told my kid, I'm like, it's really hard to admit this, but you've become a better hockey player than I ever was. Keep in mind, the game has changed, but not enough where it's relevant to make that comment. But I was the guy that beat up the players like you. You're so much better than me. Period.
Enforcer. He's turned into a little enforcer.
Everybody. That was my job. I just beat up everybody.
I try to hit people, but I would just bounce off them because I was so small.
I was different. I played soccer growing up, but I was the enforcer on my team. Like if you did anything with my girls,
women's soccer is insane.
So
soccer girls are crazy.
I put it in my back pocket, and I was coming for you.
But we know what enforcers.
That's soccer girls are crazy.
What's an enforcer in soccer?
What's up?
What's an enforcer look like in soccer? We know what it looks like in hockey.
It's just basically
they're throwing elbows and
in
shit.
My back pocket. There was shit. Even there was one. I'll give you an example. There was one game, and I was sitting on the bench actually, and this girl just full on football tackled my right mid, and I yelled at her. I'm like, wrong type of football, and she's like, I'm just playing, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm coming for you. She got penalized on it, so I ran at her when I saw her have the in possession, and what good contact is you have to keep your arm in, shoulder wise, things like that, usual. And I just, I destroyed her onto the ground. I went, I'm just playing. I would just tell me, it's basically if you started shit, I ended it. It was that's an enforcer in soccer, but it was so different. People say, soccer, and it's so true, professional soccer, that you see them falling left and right trying to get the calls and things like that. But a lot of the actual soccer that you play growing up and things like that, that's not a thing. That's absolutely not a thing. I've seen, because my coach had a boys and girls team. Sometimes we'd stay after because we all went to the same school and shit. We'd watch the guys play after we played a game or something, and full out brawls would happen on the field sometimes. You see guys pulling off jerseys and shit and going at it.
I always grew up with the mentality of calling soccer players grass fairies, and that was just the way it was. I was a
professional soccer players, yes. Yes, professional, yes. In when you're growing up and actually playing, nah. It did some there's none of really no one like does it. And if anyone you see doing it, like you see purposely falling, you like gave them shit. Like you gave them so much shit.
Like, right. And even in minor hockey, I give my kid shit all the time. He gets bumped and he falls. I'm like, get up.
Yeah.
You're not like that. Get up.
I remember as a little kid, my mom coming to me. She's like, "Listen, you don't stay down unless you are really truly hurt." And I was like, "Okay, mom."
Like,
I was like,
like Dusty knows this. My oldest son, who I'm referring to most of the time when we're talking, he literally broke his leg on the ice last year playing. Kid made captain this year and is the hardest working player on his team. Like, he came back even better this year.
God damn.
Scary, but it's fun to watch him again.
It's fun to watch him. Got the mascot.
So I'm just going to ask before we get rolling, diving into conversation more about this week in hockey and just in general this season. I know that you're a big Robin Lehner fan. How'd that come to be?
La la.
I've
Robin
seen videos
Lehner.
of you and him, and I mean, it's great, and I love it. But
Yeah, no, he's my
where'd that
love.
come from?
With Robin Lehner, he came to us in the 18-19 season. I was in my second year of college. And everyone knows about Robin Lehner's story. That season, he decided to open up and share his problems with alcoholism and plus being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And his article was just like so touching that I immediately loved him. I immediately loved that he was strong enough to tell his story to us. He felt comfortable doing it with us, especially on a new team. There was no pressure on him, in my opinion, because I never gave shit to our goaltenders. That year before, I believe we had Thomas Greiss and we had Yaroslav Halak. And they were getting 40 to 50 shots per night, like these guys. And I never gave it on our goaltenders. You're taking 40 to 50 shots per night. It's not on you. It's on your defense. It's just
100%.
an Islanders problem right now. But then Barry Trotz came in. We helped the defensive system. He became a Jennings Trophy winner with Greiss that next season. I said, see, it's not the goaltenders. Because they were getting wrecked. So I didn't really have any pressure on him. I didn't really know much about him from Buffalo, to be honest. I was kind of I was asking Buffalo fans, and it was so funny because Buffalo fans to me were like, enjoy him. He sucks. He sucks. Nah. I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, he ripped it up with us on Long Island. I think truly because he was getting the mental help he needed too. But that same year, I had personal issues going on with me. And they didn't escalate until that year where I ended up going to the emergency room and they diagnosed me with epilepsy. And I had no idea I was having seizures. Like I thought it was something little, like maybe I'm low on a vitamin or something. And they when they diagnosed me, it was like what? You're joking, right? And they're like, no, you've been having seizures the whole life. You just didn't know it. They've escalated now to full, like, grand mal seizures, but I've been on, medication now, and I haven't had a seizure in over a year. If anything, I'm
Wow.
just having, like, tiny focal seizures now, seeing my neurologist soon, but it was kind of a slap in the face to me. I was in nursing school at the time. It was a lot to take in, new medications too, getting used to new medications. Oh my god. It was so much for me to handle, and I felt very overwhelmed. And so, I don't know if it popped up on my timeline or just someone shared it again, but I reread Leonard's story about being diagnosed, and it was like it just clicked even more. Because I am in the same I felt the same situation, the late in life diagnosis kinda thing,
Mhm.
and I started crying on my college dorm room bed. I remember crying and going, like, I understand him more, like, I'm so glad he wrote this because I don't feel alone, like, feeling like this." And that's when I was like, every week when Periscope was the thing, I was saying, "Oh, I need a Leonard jersey. I need a Leonard jersey." And my grandparents came to pick me up because I wasn't allowed to drive. New epilepsy, you're not allowed to drive. They came to pick me up to take me to my neurologist appointment, and they handed me a package. And I was like, looked at them, I was like, "What the hell is this?" They're like, "Just open it. Just open it." And my grandpa surprised me with a Robin Leonard jersey, which is the one hanging up right behind me back here.
I remember that. Like, don't remember the complete day, but I remember that post that you made, and you were pretty emotional about it.
Look, because he became kind of like my hero. He became a reason to keep strong, and I literally wore it to the my appointment too, and Robin Leonard literally retweeted it, like hearted it. He reached out to me, and it's a moment I will never forget in my life. And he reached out to me. He's like, if you ever need somebody, I am here for you. And he did that with multiple fans, so many fans. He even reached out to me. There was a fan we had on Twitter who actually was like posted a photo and he like wanted to commit suicide. And Robin reached out to me and he goes, "Do you know their number? I want to text them." He goes,
Wow.
I really want to text them and help them out. And we were all like trying to band together to help him. And Robin actually was able to get his contact and talk with him. And things like that. The way he cares about other people was so like meant so much to me. And so that's why I flew out to Chicago. That's when I got to meet him in Chicago. The last thing I know, I get a call. Robin wants to meet you. I was like, ran back to the United Center. I was sweating. I had no care in the world. I ran back to the arena, and that's the video you see of me hugging Robin Leonard. And that's a moment in my life I you don't see on camera was after, you know, all of it, saying hi and things like that. He like got down to my level, put both of his hands on my shoulders, and we had a one-to-one talk of, you know, how are you feeling? What are you going through? Just to let you know, like, this is how, you know, what I went through. And we had like a heart-to-heart talk. And I just will never forget that as long as I live.
It's definitely nice to see, you know, yes, they make millions of dollars. Some don't, some do. You know, they're obviously in the best league in the world. They're playing at the highest professional level there is in hockey, other than the Olympic stage. And for them to come down to earth and just one-on-one with a casual fan.
Well,
Like,
it's stories like that too that like shows the human side of the players in the game, because it gets so lost within the games, and how fans get so into these games that they don't see the human element towards the players, and how, you know, they can be struggling with
These
their
are
own
people
issues like we
too.
do.
They're going through their own situations too. And, you know,
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
you know,
Like
it's
we're
nice
like,
to care, you know,
yeah,
personally.
us fans use like their games as an escape, right? Like that hockey
Yeah,
at
all
that
the
point
time.
is not their escape for them,
Even though
right?
mine
Like,
have been more
yeah,
heart attacks every game day.
well,
But that's why you see the big panda behind me. You see
yeah.
like there's more pandas behind my Snorlax. Uh, and when my grandmother passed away 2 years ago, and like that was huge in my life because she was my everything. She told me hockey. And I tried to emulate
grandmas
her.
are awesome for that.
I tried to emulate her every game. He even reached out to me after she that day she passed away. He reached out to me. He goes, "I am so sorry to hear about your grandmother." He's like, "I'm wishing your family lots of love and things like that." He even reached out to me about
He
my
is,
grandmother.
I might be wrong, but I don't think he's active anymore, right? He is retired.
He's technically on LTIR because
Okay.
he had that double hip surgery a year ago. Technically on LTIR, not officially retired. He's not made any
He's
comments
quietly
about being
retired, but
retired.
maybe he comes back, right? That's kind of the.
It's kind of up in the air right now,
Yeah.
I don't think
but it
most
looks
players come back
It's
from
it
gonna be
looks
that.
hard to come
towards
back after a year and a half
it looks
of not
towards
playing.
retirement.
Yeah.
But nothing is official, and he's had a online like a few financial struggles, and honestly, I just wishing him the best. I'm hoping everything's okay with him and his family. That's all I hope for.
Mhm.
When I hear stories like yours, I mean, I've never I know goalies that have played in the NHL, or a goalie that's played in the NHL. But I'm a huge Marc Andre fan. Like, he's probably one of the
Flurry,
sweetest players. Fleury,
Flurry, of
100%.
course, fucking
You know,
course.
and I
Who's
see
not a
people.
Flurry fan?
I think if you're not a Fleury fan in some capacity, minus Flyers fans, there's something wrong with you. Like,
Yeah,
that guy is the most genuine soul on this planet. Like,
absolutely.
and to see what the NHL just put him through in the last 2 weeks just annoys the shit out of me.
I was literally thinking about that too with his mask that he made for his family. I was so
Yeah.
glad he said "fuck you" and just wore it. I mean,
Like,
everyone was cheering. Everyone was cheering.
Fleury's
Like,
one of
it's
those
ridiculous.
faces, right? Like he's the face of the goalie at least.
Mm-hmm.
He's one
You
of
know,
the
and
first names that pops into your head.
you know, you said that, you know, you and Dusty both said that we don't look at these players and think they have their own issues. I'm a Leaf fan. Dusty's a Leaf fan. We're terrible when it comes to our players, man. Like there's players that don't want to play here because of the fan base, because they
Kessel.
don't want to read their
Okay,
name.
so
It's also media. The problem
there,
too, it's not
it is
about
that, yeah.
fans. It's also the bad media. Like there's a lot of bad media in Toronto because the bigger, the more outlandish takes you're gonna get, and there's some media that takes it too far. And there's that's the things about fan bases too. There's it's not all fans. Not all
No.
Toronto fans are horrible. And that goes for every freaking 32 fan base out there.
Any
You have
sports
your
team at all.
extremists that take it
Yeah.
too far. And
Yeah.
it looks bad on the whole fan base.
And there's for the most part, like Leaf fans are one of the biggest fan bases
Yeah, you guys are
in
huge.
the NHL.
Listen,
If not
So you're
biggest.
gonna have a lot more assholes for Leaf fans,
If not
obviously.
the biggest, I think Toronto are they
Sure.
the biggest?
In my
fan base?
opinion, unbiasedly, Toronto is the mecca of hockey. Like it's just that way. Like that's the way it bubbles out. That's being unbiased. Like everything somehow comes back to us one way or another. Like
Yeah, no, I feel that though. I agree with that. Especially you have your operations center in Toronto, like things like that too. Hockey Hall of Fame is in Toronto. Like it just like feels like very centered.
the Hockey Hall of Fame is such a letdown if you've been there. It really is.
I've
Like
never
it's
gone.
great to see, but at the same time, it's in a basement. It's very small.
I want to go this summer with my fiance.
Well, if you come up, you let me know, and I'll make my way down there. I'm outside the city, but I'd love to meet you in person. So
there's so many Toronto fans, like of my friends that I want to meet so bad.
just don't make sure you come up when it's not cold. But I mean, you're from the island, so
summer.
it's not that.
But I also want to go for a game, so it's kind of like I do want to see one game there, even though it's insanely expensive.
It's stupid expensive.
I know.
I haven't been to a game in forever.
Time.
Dusty was just at one not too long ago.
Yeah, I've been to 2 this year, and one was like, okay, I haven't gone to a hockey game in forever, so it was like I'm gonna spoil myself. It's pretty much at the top of the arena,
payment and all that, you know, just to go.
Yeah,
it was like $250 for a seat, and this is like way at the top of the 300s.
So our prices are insane. What do you guys typically pay? Let's say, because I believe you're a season ticket holder.
Yes.
From my understanding. But if you're trying to go to a game and you're not one, what's your prices like?
So I know this because it's my grandfather who's been the season ticket holder since 1973. But after work, because I work 15 minutes from the arena, basically he has to go with somebody because someone has to help my grandfather into the arena, so he'll go with my mom. So if I'm working that day, I'll buy a third ticket to sit anywhere. So if you're looking like up top, I mean, it depends on the week. If it's a weekend, if it's a weekday, like if you're looking for like regular pricing though, you can get up top usually like maybe like $20.
I wish. I'd be going to a lot more games.
The other day I got lower bowl like 100s row 8 for like $40-$50.
You know how much that would cost in Toronto?
I know.
That would cost like $800 at face value.
Like plus fees, it makes it like 60, but I'm like,
that's
fine.
Still 100% better than anything we're paying.
Oh, I know. Like, and that's what I like. At the Rock, it was so much cheaper. I got down low with my mom, like 9 rows off the ice for like $30 per ticket. Like it was better than UBS.
So
like that's why it's so
when you guys
lucky.
Became... Go ahead, Dusty.
It's like say like other fan bases like that have that, they're so lucky to be able to see their team.
And you know what? And I get Ranger fans coming to Islanders games. I get it because Ranger fan tickets. I've done it because my fiance is a Rangers fan, and we paid out the fucking butt for.
You're not
MSG
supposed
tickets.
to date within the division.
Well, it's too late now, bud. But I like we paid for tickets before, and it's blocked by the Chase Bridge, and we paid like $90 for these seats. And I remember my fiance was so pissed, but I get why Ranger fans come to Islanders games, but like you just want to see a hockey game, cool, but just don't wear Ranger shit. I mean, like,
Yeah, I'll
unless you're
never
asking for
understand
it.
why people wear
And it's
random
always
shit to
Rangers
random
fans. They do it
games.
to Devils games. They do it to Islanders games. If your team's not playing, don't wear it.
Oh,
Like,
Leaf fans are bad for doing that. Like,
Ranger fans are bad for doing it. And some people literally have told me they're just asking for it. They want to do it because they want to get chirped. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's like your prerogative.
Hey, some
But
people are kinky. We don't kink shame around here, right?
but like, I just don't get it. Like, if when I went with like my fiance to a Rangers game, I just wore like regular street clothes. I didn't wear anything Islanders because I don't want to. I'm not there to get my ass kicked. Like, I'm there
I
to
know-
enjoy hockey with him
yeah.
because we want to enjoy a game together, not to start shit.
Right. You're not gonna be like, oh my god, he scored, yay! You're just gonna be like, yeah, that's cool, good goal.
Yeah,
move on.
I'm just like sitting there like, I'm like, but he's come to Islanders games with me, and he's just dressed in like a regular sweatshirt and like jeans and things like that, and we're respectful of one another.
I mean, I'm a Leaf fan. I'm wearing a Ducks hat right now because these are one of the teams that made me fall in love with hockey. Like,
Yeah, no, you can wear anything. I don't have a problem with that. Like,
no, but I mean, there's fans that were like, well, you're not a fan of them. Maybe not
this
now.
is where I would find
but-
it acceptable. So let's say you're wearing a Rangers jersey to like an Islanders game, but on the back it says Gauthier. So if it's like a prior player and you're wearing like a Kyle Palmieri Devils jersey, like, okay, that's where I can find it acceptable.
With that being asked, so if I come to an Islanders game wearing a JT Leafs jersey, am I going to get beat up?
Yes. Because he's not currently playing on the team, and everyone knows what happened. If you came to us wearing a Pierre Engvall Toronto jersey, I wouldn't give you shit.
It's a very different skill level for one.
Okay, but I would give him shit for buying a Pierre Engvall jersey.
Listen, he's come 2 goals in the last 2 games, bud.
I've met that.
He's 6'4" of nothing. Like,
I know he doesn't use his
puck.
body at all. I find that he's so lanky.
It's so frustrating.
He's so lanky.
He could,
I've been able to
he could just lay guys out, and he chooses not to.
It's so weird though, because he's so built. Like, I feel like he could be a great hitter.
He's jacked too. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Why doesn't he hit?
Yeah.
I find that
like the guy is jacked as fuck, and
I will say
he's been doing great with Palmieri and Nelson, bro.
Like, that was such a weird contract you guys gave him too, though.
I don't know about that.
It was like 7 years, $2.47 million. I think it was, or something.
Fucking Lamoriello, bro.
All right, so let's segue into that conversation. Thoughts on Lou? Because I thought he did great here for the most part. He did what he had to do to build that team. But he was still very
So I am grateful for him for the start of changing things around when we desperately needed it. I'm very happy that he, got like how he got our coaching, how he got especially goaltending coaching. Mitch Cord and Pierre Greco. By the way, Leonard told me Pierre Greco is like the guru. He is the guru that makes like those goalies, come through. But
I'll hand that over to Shanahan. We'll let him know.
But he was able to get those things instilled for us. He put a lot of I feel like he put a lot of respect back in the franchise that was missing. He got us back on our feet. So I'm thankful to him for that, but I feel like it's come a time where he's not what we're needing right now. We need someone with fresh eyes to look at this team and fix it the right way, because he's stuck in his ways, and Lou's ways. He's stuck in his ways, his rigidity, and the cutoff from the fans, because I miss my team. The only way I see them is at their charity events. Like, Lou Lamoriello just didn't even want a meet and greet last year, and he set it up last year because they apparently he got pressured into it, and so he set it up where you had an hour to meet the players. So I met 4 in total because it was lines.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what happened.
That's the problem with Lou. That was the problem with Lou.
And I met a total of, there were families that were splitting, like 1 goal in each line, because there was no way in the time limit you would get to see everybody. Because Lou Lamoriello, he's like, you get an hour, go, good luck.
Dusty, I know before the show started, you had some thoughts. Do you want to discuss them now? We'll come to Lou.
So My thing is that, like, I don't know, like you said, like he's great. He was great at coming in and bringing the culture in, which he was great at shaking up the culture when he first came in Toronto too, getting kind of players in line. But after a while, I feel that like the message kind of gets like he's too old school.
Yeah.
Like I get that you got to
We
build
need
structure in the
fresh.
team and shit, and that
We need
needs to
fresh.
happen. Yeah,
And especially at taking responsibility, like coaching right now.
yeah.
Be a fucking GM and this old boys club.
He's
It's great.
he's
Fucked up.
too like, oh, let's just wait out the process and see what happens, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
He's got that-
exactly. And I'm
he's got-
sick of it because action needs to be taken and it's not being taken. And that's
He's
a
very
huge problem with
much-
the Islanders right now. Yeah, we're winning by the skin of our teeth. No, that's not how you want to win. Like that's
how-
literally how the Islanders have been winning right now. And yeah, you got the 2 points, but we're not winning as a playoff team. We're losing against playoff contenders. Like I don't know if we have one win against playoff teams from last year. And we're skating by the skin of our teeth, and I know it's coaching. I know with
What you
100%
do-
certainty, especially after last game, it is coaching for the Islanders' issues.
I
Because
guys
think
just
Toronto
need
has
to-
the same issue too. Is
Well,
coaching.
for
Yeah, I've been
two
on
things.
that.
You guys just beat the Florida Panthers, who went to the Stanley Cup final. You beat them in regulation.
okay, so that's
Mind
our
you,
first.
by the skin of your
that's our
teeth,
first.
I get it. And two, like, I forgot my point now. God damn it. There was another point there, but no, I get the frustration. I believe, like, when it comes to Lou, he's too mob boss mentality. Like, everything has to be a certain structure. I don't know. When he was here, there was no facial hair rule, and
Still, Palmieri, we missed
no high numbers. I don't know. I haven't paid attention to your
Still-
guys' jerseys.
See, that
He
is
did
just
not allow
bullying,
Mike
in my
Riley to put
opinion.
his number when he came here. He said, "Oh, what's the lowest number available? Here's number 2." He gave Mike Riley number 2 because it was low and it was available. He did not give him a choice. He
See,
walked into the
that's
locker room and
just-
said, "Here's your number."
See, that to me is just bullying, because it's like I'm in control. You do what I tell you. You keep your
Isles
face
fans
shaven.
We're
You cut your
shocked he
hair.
allowed- Isles fans were shocked he allowed Matt Barzal to keep 13 when he came in.
Hmm.
We were shocked because he hates 13.
Yeah, I've heard that actually. He made
that's
them.
very
I've heard
superstitious,
stories of him making of him getting rid of 13 floors and shit like that, being like, no, you put 14 and like no
Yep.
room 13s or
Yep.
like
So-
any of that. I heard him being like that crazy about it.
Now let's parallel universe this for a second. Let's say JT stayed in the island and Lou came in.
On.
Whatever. But let's say Lou came in. Would JT still wear his 91?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because at that, he said veterans would be allowed to keep their numbers. At that point, he had been in the league. We got him 2009. It was 2016. So we'd had him for at least 7 years. So he would have been allowed to keep his number.
The reason I say in the island is because are you guys really an island over there?
And yes. We are an island, yes. They
I'm
didn't
jealous.
just say it because it sounded cool. We are actually an island.
Oh, so you're not like Rhode Island?
Oh my god. Don't compare us to Rhode Island. Okay.
Well, it wasn't.
But yeah,
Nobody-
no, you're on an island. You're not in an island.
Fair enough.
It's
Fair
on.
enough.
It's a pet peeve with
Listen,
people
I live
who
in
live
Canada,
here.
all right? It's cold.
Exactly. So we
Listen.
educate.
What are you talking about?
But it's an actual big pet peeve with people who live here because it is on Long Island.
I'll keep that in.
I think
I'll keep that
Brendan
in mind
Burke
when
was
I go
like,
there.
Brendan Burke when he first came in, like he said on, and everyone in the Twitterverse was like in. He was like, he said in. It's on Long Island. It's on.
Now,
And like he was like, I am sorry.
I do have another question about Islanders related stuff. And I'm also jealous of you that you've been to MSG. That's still on my bucket list.
Yeah,
not
I
even
wanna
just
go
for
to
hockey.
MSG too.
Just in
I
general.
mean, it is what it is. I mean, to go there, the hallways are very fucking. I find it funny that people gave shit to Nassau Coliseum about tiny hallways when I think MSG is worse. trying to
I've never
snake
been there.
through there.
I just
like,
want to go there because of the history, right? Like not even
I
just
mean,
hockey, just
that's the whole
everything.
point of it. That's the whole point of it.
So that was my next question because you alluded to Nassau there. When you guys moved to Brooklyn, like your grandfather being a season ticket holder as long as he's been, how big of a transition was that for you guys?
So I adopted the tickets, because my grandfather was not doing it. He couldn't do the train. He was not going to do the train. The only thing I am grateful for is that it kept us on the island because we had no other options. Charles Wong, may he rest in peace. He did his damnedest to keep us there, and I'm thank God for him because yes, we had to suffer 5 years through Barclays, but it kept us there and it gave us the opportunity in the future to get Belmont. So I am, as much as I hated it, I am grateful that it was an option and that it kept us here. So, we had to, I'll suffer, you know what, like in hindsight, I would suffer those 5 years again to keep where we are now. So, and the
Okay.
return to Nassau, even other players have said, how insane it was coming back to Nassau, the fans, the tailgating, and like, God, I miss that.
So
arena.
is it a whole? It's a whole new build, right? Like it's the same name but a whole new build, or did you guys just renovate everything?
UBS Arena?
Yeah.
It's a whole new building built from the bottom up.
Okay.
It's a whole new arena built bottom up.
I just wasn't sure if it was just completely overhauled, like, and the shell is still technically there, or if they just.
Yeah, no, it was Nassau Coliseum is completely in a different area. This is not Nassau Coliseum anymore. Nassau Coliseum was actually looking to become a casino, but Nassau, so funny. So like how we had the lighthouse project that was denied, the casino project got denied by Nassau residents, and I'm like, shocker.
Well, I mean, at least it's not. What is it? Arizona being a landfill.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? This is where I feel for Arizona fans and people like, oh, just get rid of the franchise because you don't understand. Turn it around. What if we said get rid of your fucking franchise? And I feel for those. I feel for Coyotes fans, and I want them so bad to get Tempe. And they're struggling through it right now. I have a really close Coyotes fan that I talk to. I have 2 Coyotes fans I talk to, but I feel for them so badly because we've been in the same situation.
My 10-year-old, he's a Coyotes fan. I don't know why, but he is.
Interesting.
And then my oldest son, he, depending on the day, but he's been a Vancouver fan for as long as I can remember. But he also cheers for the Kraken.
Interesting.
Because they're new, right? Like it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like as a Canadian, I kind of want to see one of the American teams fold and come home where they should be.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see people lose their teams either. But
it's how people lost the Whalers. It's like how people lost the Thrashers. I just realized my lights weren't going, but it's like how people lost the Thrashers and and that's I still talk to people who are still loyal to the Whalers and the Thrashers and like things like that. That's always their team. I mean, they root for the new team, obviously, but they still are like loyal to the original like franchise. And it's crazy.
Realistically, though, there's talks that Atlanta could be getting another franchise, and I'm not okay with it simply for the fact that we've already had 2 failed franchises there.
Yeah,
it's probably not a good idea to go for the 3rd.
Yeah, I feel that.
But I love the Thrashers Twitter. It's undefeated.
It is funny. The Thrashers Twitter is funny. Whoever does that has a good time.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was funny.
So now I know this is more of like just chit chatting. I mean, we're not really discussing current hockey, but I need to know. I've known you for a few years now. And we've talked, but I need to know for content purposes the whole thing behind the "we don't need you" Islander girl gimmick that started. All that.
Okay. Like how that all became to be.
How did it become like that whole video montage that you got your team or you guys put together? Like,
so I was on the train going to Barclays Center, and a news producer reached out to me saying, "Hey, we see you're a huge Islanders fan. We have this idea in mind as of doing like a letter to John Tavares video. Would you be interested?" And being an 18-year-old girl at the time, very passionate fan. I was like so excited. I said, absolutely, yes, let's do it. Like I was so excited about it. And they gave us a date. We came to the Coliseum. They set up a camera. Like they kind of just like said that like this was the idea. So I kind of just walked up, and they were like, here's the camera. Pretend it's John Tavares and go. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I was kind of like, okay. So I just I did like a long speech. They took what they wanted. And I said what I said. You know what I mean? Like I don't regret anything I said. I don't. And everyone did their bits. Apparently it was it was supposed to be like this video, and apparently like they had other plans for this video, but then they switched it last minute to be like this sad music and everything like that. And I was told it was switched last minute. And then it was released, and I think I had one of the worst days of my life. All the messages that came at me via Twitter, people found my Facebook. I was getting.
I was going to
spammed on
ask that. Like, how
Facebook.
did you take that? Like,
I was being spammed on Instagram. People found my private Instagram, my private Facebook. They went everywhere they could find me. They bashed me, and to be found that I was trending on Twitter. And I'm a person who I'm very. I won't even deny it. Like I'm a very emotional. Like I take things to heart very, very fast. And so I was like, I felt so disappointed. I was like, I just embarrassed the team. I embarrassed the franchise. I was so fucking upset. Like I was like, I'm a problem kind of person, and I felt so bad. And like people were coming at me, and what really helped me was family. What really helped me was actually my own fan base. The next game I went to, I was so nervous. I'm like, people are gonna come at me saying, how dare you make that stupid video? And fans came to me in the parking lot at the tailgate, and they're like, hey, like we felt you in that video. Don't you feel bad for 1 minute about it? And like we're here for you, blah blah blah. And like that's the response I got back from my fan base, and I was kind of shocked about it, but it also helped me so much because I felt scared, and it made me feel stronger. I was like just meeting some of my friends who are it actually I think is a reason I met one of my best friends who is a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, and he helped me get through it too. His name is Jordan, and he helped me get through it, and I look back on it now and I kind of just smile on it, and it's like I shouldn't have taken it so personally, honestly. And I saved some of the messages because I found them so fucking funny. Some of them are like hilarious. Like I have one saved from like the Facebook ones because I like can't believe it's a real message. Oh my god. Like
bizarre. Like, was it just Leaf fans coming at you, or is it like a bit of your own fan base?
No, it was just it was really just Leaf fans.
Yeah.
I have the old chat that was sent to me. I'm pretty sure they still have it somewhere in my messages that I got years ago, but it was like calling me like every name in the book. And I remember him like, so I think he said to me like my child. Here it is. Is it? Oh my god. Is it under spam? No, I think it's deleted now, but oh, here it is. This is Facebook user now. You want me to read it? Here it is. 2019.
by all means,
Yeah.
Do you want?
I
Can
kind
I
of want to
curse?
hear.
There's some cursing in it.
It's all good.
But this
There's
was the
warnings for a
message.
reason.
This is a perfect example. I keep this because I kind of laugh at it now, but Kimmy, your filth and disgust me to my core. Seeing you cry like a little bitch about Tavares moving on to way better pastures disgusted me. No one cares about some shit nobody franchise of inbred Long Island greasers. The Leafs are a legacy and have an amazing history. Seeing you cry made every Leafs fan young and old smile. My 5-year-old niece watched the video and called you a faggot and laughed. Have fun with the losing team. Leafs get the cup. Islanders get a urinal.
And just for reference, it's people like that it's people like that make me and Dusty, who are Leaf fans, look bad.
But yeah, these were like I'm reading that word for word. Like these were the messages that I was receiving And like that's just one of them that I like. I mostly deleted everything else, but that was what I was getting on a daily basis. And then you see, you know, people memeing me and then things like that. So it took a long time personally. But my best friend in the whole wide world is a Colorado Avalanche fan, and she was the one who like took my hand, was like, "Listen, we're gonna say this together. Who gives a shit about what other people think? You do you. Be happy with who you are in your own skin. You do what makes you happy. Who gives a fuck what other people think?" And
Exactly.
she helped me immensely to be happy in my own skin, to just not give a fuck anymore. Just let me be who I am, love hockey, and say, you know, sucks for you if you don't like me, whatever.
But like people
Mhm.
like that are just vile human beings in general. I wouldn't want them up. Like I don't know who this is, but if they're a Leaf fan, they have no business being a fan of hockey in general. Like,
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's what I was getting on Instagram, on Facebook, on everything, man. And I
I'm
get it
just
to this
saying,
day too.
we've had JT now 7 years, 8 years, something like
7 years?
that.
Because he came to you in 2017-18 season?
Yeah, my grandma passed away in the 17. He signed in 17. Yeah, so 6 years this year coming, and like or this
Yeah.
year.
Well, yeah,
And
because he signed 7 years. He's up next year.
I'm just
The one
saying, like,
after this one.
you know, that fan stated, "Oh, we're gonna get a cup." It's been 7 years, and we just got out of the first round last year, thanks to JT. Like,
actually, maybe it's less because that was 2019. That was the season after. So 18, that was 18-19 season. So yeah, he came to you in the 18-19 season, actually.
it was
Yeah.
Canada Day. I know it was July 1st, one of the last, you know, before the 20s started. So
Yeah, no, it's just it was craziness when that shit went down. But that's all it was. Like, I wasn't a part of making it or like editing it basically, but you know, I just said what I said, and they were like, "Cool, thank you." You know, go home.
yeah,
I was
you
like,
weren't really
Yeah.
sure the context. You were just laying it out there how you felt. Like,
I will say though, to this day, I'm glad I'm the meme. Funny enough, I'm glad I'm the meme because there were other people in
Mhm.
that video too, and no one remembers them. Thank God, because of my, you know, because leave them alone. You know what? If there's anyone for them to pick on, let it be fucking me. Because there's other people in that video too, lovely fan base, wonderful fans that, you know, no one gives them shit. I'm like, you know what? Just give it to me. Because I'm glad, you know, make me the meme. Fuck it. You know, because there's other people in there too who don't deserve that. So
I
I'll take
will
it every
say
day.
the one thing as a Leaf fan that did disgust me, and it's nothing personal, but like when he played his first game back there and the way he was treated.
No, there were some things that were absolutely like, even as
Like,
an Islanders fan, I was like, dude, please, why did you do that? There
it
was
was
like,
extremely vile to some of that degree. Like, you
like
know,
the
he got
throwing of
a
the plastic snakes at him, like I was like, dude, no. I was like, no.
like
Like
that kid, like, because he
boo,
came to you guys, like literally, he came to you guys as a kid, and he grew into the player he was because of your franchise.
just like things like that, like people yelling at him through the penalty. I'm like, yeah, it's a little like boo, whatever. Like that night, you know, I think like,
Hey,
you know, it
you
was
paid your
that's
admission. You're allowed to
ranting.
say what you want to say, but
Yeah, exactly.
let's still think
But
of the
like
human being on the other side of that glass. Like,
but like throwing shit at like that, I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And I agreed with the fans who were like, "What the like? Are you kidding me?" Like, and I'm like, "No, I agree. Like, that was really trashy."
like and I'll still say to this day, it was shitty. Oh, I want to stay an Islander, and then not even 6 months later, signing somewhere else. It sucks.
That's
It
why all
stings.
this
I get
fucking
it.
happens.
You know,
Miscommunications. Like, if he had just been said, like, you know, I'm gonna keep my options open going into the trade deadline, fine. You
right?
know what? Like, or something like that. Like, you know, I want to be at peace. But when you literally say, "Please don't trade me. I want to be here. I want to be an Islander."
That'd be frustrating. I would get that.
You know,
100%.
the things we could have traded for him and like pieces we could have gotten back, or if you know, like how the Tyson Berry situation with like Nashville. I know Tyson Berry's not really loved, but they literally like said out in the open they've had talks where they're allowing him to look at other options and things like that. Just be fucking honest. Be
Mhm.
honest with us. Let us know. Why did I have to go and wait in the summertime for UFA season to open and think, you know, why isn't he signed? You know, like, come on, he loves us. Like, I truly thought he was going to resign with us.
I think we did too. I mean, at least I thought I had no, like, there was inklings he might come
No.
home, but that was about it. I mean, we've heard it for years. Stamkos, oh, he's coming home. And this
Jeff
as Leaf fans,
Carter.
we hear all these players wanting to come home. We're like,
You hear it all the time with things like that. You know, they're from Toronto, they're gonna go back home. So I mean, I wasn't putting too much stock in that. But then the pajama photo, oh my god.
it was cheesy. I'll say that it was cheesy, but
oh my god,
it's
when
a
Leonard,
great
did you
PR
see what
stunt.
Leonard did to that? When Leonard was coming back to Long Island, he actually joked about it. He's like, I can't wait for that great Long Island welcome. And he put the Tavares clip. I couldn't fucking breathe. And then he put a panda on Tavares' face in the bed. Like,
So I actually have a little gig thing I do. So I take that John Tavares picture of him in the bed, and I put like, say, like Max Domi signing. I put like Max Domi on his head
yeah.
in the bed, and I'll do like that for like guys
Max
that are like
Domi
from
return was
Toronto.
great, though. That Max Domi return was great. And then he just scored his first goal with
Oh,
the
he
lead.
couldn't buy a goal. He hadn't been able to buy a goal in forever, so it's so
Well,
nice to see him score.
Yeah, no, that was us with Pajot. Pajot was not. He was so snake bitten, and just recently scored his first goal against the Devils, and it was just like, yes. Ugh.
Yeah, I know it's
You
funny.
won.
Those guys, those are the goals you see, and you're like, you can just feel the weight lifted off their shoulders.
And again, that was like a coaching moment, like where I've been screaming for him to put Holmstrom on the line with Pajot because they've showed chemistry. He does it, Pajot scores, and I'm like, shocker.
Should have listened.
And I've been also like on my own like channel, like I've talked about Fashing or Gauthier first line. Matt Barzal was sick, puts Gauthier first line, he scores. Shocker.
Who would have
So-
thought?
On a year-to-year basis, when you're looking at your cap friendly for your team, how annoyed do you get that you're still paying DiPietro?
You know what? I have so much fun with it at this point because it's like the it's a Bonilla day with the Mets.
Yeah.
But like I see some people who still wear DiPietro jerseys to the rink, and I go up to them and I go, "Hey, you still paying for that jersey?" And you know what? Sometimes I get like a what, but the true fans turn to me and they like it takes them a moment, and then they start laughing their asses off, and I'm like, oh, you know, and we did like a good firm handshake. We just start laughing about it, and it's like it's things like that. You just have fun with it at this point.
I got two more Islander questions because I need to know from an Islanders fan, not a documentary.
That's what I'm here for.
One, the guy that faked his way to owning your team for a very short period of time. How did that all come? Like with you guys as fans, like I know that's way earlier than you, but like
90.
Like how did that even happen? Like how did he coax his way in?
Frauded. I mean, just straight up fraud. Like he just fake documents, said I had millions. For some reason it went through until, you know, they found out, you know, via records that he's bankrupt and he had nothing. Like it was just craziness. It was written about. My friend wrote a book. He's an author. He wrote about Nassau Coliseum. He also wrote a book called We Want Fish Sticks. And he wrote about that whole fisherman era, that 90s era. He actually tried to interview Spano in prison, but was unable to. But he actually did try.
That was the next question.
I would say read that book if you want to hear about the whole fucking era.
How do you feel about the fisherman era for jerseys?
I hate that logo with a passion.
Really? I think it's sick. I love it.
It's disgusting. I hate being a fish stick. I just hate the logo. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And people like my brother love it because he grew up with that logo.
Yeah. Okay.
And
that's really
a lot of the fans right now, because they have reached age, it's nostalgia, and now people want it because of the nostalgia. But growing up, I didn't. I had the original, classic Islanders. We had crest, and it's so special to my heart because of its symbolism in the crest of, it has Long Island, of course, but the eye in the symbol actually points to Uniondale, where Nassau Coliseum was. The eye in the symbol, that's why it's in the island. It's not an accident. That's there pointing to Uniondale, where we first started. We have the 4 lines on the stick that are for our cups. These are things that I find special about our logo and why I'm so protective of our crest.
I never knew any of that. That's cool.
No, yeah, no, I can I got you straight up. Hold on, because my pillow here is our symbol. Blue and orange is actually the colors of Nassau. So we have 2 counties. Nassau is the western and eastern is Suffolk. So blue and orange was actually Nassau colors, which is why we chose blue and orange. 4 lines are for our 4 cups right here. The eye, as you can see, is blue pointing to Uniondale. It actually points to Uniondale of where Nassau Coliseum was located. So that's a huge thing of things that are hidden in our logo that people usually don't know about. And that's why I get a little protective of it. It's kind of like Minnesota Wildhead. They have many hidden symbols in their logo too.
And then there's the Leafs, who are just shit logo with Toronto.
I mean, it's Maple Leaf.
It's iconic. I mean, there's that. That's about it.
But yeah, no, if we win a 5th cup, I hope they add another line.
I never knew any of that.
That's why I'm protective of that crest. And the fisherman is just a guy who looks like the freaking Gordon's fisherman. I don't think it looks tough. I think he looks stupid going. I just think it's I just don't find it tough.
You say you hate it, right?
I hate it.
So would you say that you don't need it?
No. Oh my god. Wow.
She went there.
Come on now. It's a funny one.
But yeah, I do not own any fishermen. Meanwhile, my brother dresses up as the fisherman. There's some. I have a picture of it too. I have a picture of him from the first game this season. But yeah, no, he grew up. He was born in '94, so he grew up with that logo. So I don't if you like the fisherman, I'm not gonna shit on you. That's your love. That's what you love to wear. You want to wear it, enjoy it, be my guest. You know what I mean? It's still a part of our history, whether I like it or not. I just personally am not a fan.
Well, I'm a big fan of this Ducks logo, but it's never coming back. So
I know everyone's a fan of that Ducks logo. It was so nice. Oh, here's a picture of me and my brother. This is how he dresses.
That's awesome.
With the full gear, man.
So we're reaching the top of the hour here, which is coming to a concluding of our episode. I want to do a quick thing with Dusty and you. Dusty, what's your hot take in the NHL this week?
I know we only have 2 games this week. I don't know. Maybe see another goalie goal this week.
Oh, Tristan Jarry. I mean, fucking good for him.
I can't believe Jarry scored. You know what? He is good at scoring on both nets.
Don't say that to my wife. But so your hot take is a goalie goal. All right. Kim, what's your hot take this week?
We own Tristan Jarry.
Give me one of your hot takes for the week of hockey.
Whew, a hot take? It's crazy. Yeah.
Just whatever you can think. It doesn't have to be Islanders related, but just
maybe what did I got? I wish I could see some of the matchups. I want to see some of the matchups coming this week. That's what I'm curious about, because sometimes the matchups things can go down, and because if there's some rival, because I would love to see a Gordie Howe hat trick.
Rick Tocchet hat trick. Let's get it right.
Ooh, okay. I know he didn't technically have the most, but
he only actually had 2.
I know he only had 2. Rick Tocchet had the most, but
we talked about that last week.
Gordie Howe hat trick.
No, it is the Gordie. It doesn't matter. It doesn't sound right as the Rick Tocchet.
Let's see.
Ooh, we got a Stars Lightning rematch on Monday.
This is coming Monday?
Didn't the Stars just light them up for 8?
Yeah, they beat them 8-1. Right after
I can't say I feel
John
bad
Cooper
for the fan
laid
base
into the team and the media.
Can't say I feel bad for John Cooper and all of them. Fuck them.
Ooh, Pens and Flyers play Monday too.
Pens and Flyers. That's gonna be. I can't wait when the Islanders play the Penguins. That's gonna be a
I
very.
feel like the
exciting
Penguins and Islanders have a bigger rivalry now than Philly and Pittsburgh. Like
a
that
little
seems to
bit.
have died down
We're-
so much.
I mean, we're just their daddy, but I mean, always on February 11th, I always rewatch Fight Night because it is the anniversary. February 11th, 2011 is Fight Night. And then recently, Jari, giving us playoffs and yo, I love Tristan Jari just because that pass to Josh Bailey. No.
But yeah, my wife's a
Islanders
huge
play the
Penguins fan.
Sharks on Tuesday.
Yeah,
plays
and
the
the
Sharks?
I mean, they've been waking up,
Islanders.
so how
So
many
the Sharks are
shots-
going to beat the Islanders. There's the hot take this week.
It could happen.
Hey,
It could
don't-
absolutely
listen.
happen. Here's how it's gonna go. We'll be tied after one. The Islanders will get the lead after the second. We'll blow the lead in the third, and then it's a coin flip. What happens with OT?
Just saying,
We
Kim.
don't play till Thursday, and they play Ottawa.
Kim, we had a preseason hot take, and I'm looking like a real big idiot right now because I had the Sharks finishing second.
In the Pacific.
Rip.
Yeah.
Nobody lets me down on that one. It's great.
That's
It's
rough,
fun.
bud. That is rough. Byfield.
But-
Ooh.
I don't know. The hot
I
take.
think we all had Calgary making the playoffs too, though.
Oh,
but
Boston won. Not shocking.
Did you
Marchand
say
had a
Boston?
hat
Did you
trick.
say Boston
Oh my
again?
god.
yeah, Boston won. Yeah, I saw Mercy had a hat trick.
Marchand got a fucking hat trick.
Oh, good. The Leafs let him get back on the scoreboard. Now his confidence is back. Sick.
Freaking Olofsson ruined Saros's fucking shutout.
Oh.
Fucking good.
But
All right.
Saros still got me 4 points. I'm gonna be winning. It looks like I'm gonna win this week. Let's go.
So, one more question for both of you before I wrap it up.
Yep.
Biggest pet peeve when it comes to commentary?
Like hockey commentary?
Jack Edwards.
No, I didn't say person. Just like shit you hear them say, because everybody fucking hates Edwards.
ESPN. So they recently just did a two things pissed me off about the ESPN podcast commentary the other day. One, they couldn't pronounce Ryan Pullock's name right. It's Ryan Pullock. He kept saying, and there goes Ryan Pullock. I'm like, bro.
It's
I'm
always
like-
funny listening to them speak European names too.
And Pulak comes down. I'm like, it's Pulak. It's fucking Pulak. It was making me nuts. And then another thing is like he was talking with Ray Ferraro. This guy, last name is like Levy, I think. Levy. They were like having a good old boys chat while the game's going on. They were like, "Oh, you remember these days? Ha ha ha!" I'm like, "Talk about the fucking game. What's going on?"
Ray
I'm like,
Ferraro is the worst for bringing up shit that nobody cares about.
Yo, like they were just having a good. It was like they were sitting having beers together.
Pierre
having a
McGuire
grand old
enters the
time while
chat on
game's
that
going
one.
I'm like, talk about the game. Like they weren't commentating about the fucking. It was making me nuts.
Yeah, Pierre
You're there to
McGuire.
commentate the game. You want to have some color commentary when there's a stoppage of play. Fine, everyone does that. But when the game's playing, do your job.
My biggest pet peeve is when a goaltender, doesn't matter which team, is doing really great in that game and they start talking about it too much, and then all of a
Oh
sudden
my
it just
God.
goes downhill.
Brendan Burke is notorious for saying that. He'll be like, 5 more minutes and he'll have a shutout. And I'm like, Brendan. And then he gets scored on. And like
30 seconds later, go. Fuck.
Yeah, no, everyone tweets at Brendan. We're like, Brendan, he fucking jinxed it again.
What's yours, Dusty?
Well, as we know, we always seem to get like I find the commentaries here kind of fuck up on players' names, and it's like, oh, this player did this, but it's like that player's sitting on the bench right now.
What
That
was
kind
it?
of drives me nuts. It's
What
like
was
your
it?
only job.
It was a few years
Oh,
ago.
Kasperi
Kasperi
Kapanen. Kasperi Kapanen. It was Austin Matthews that got the game winning.
That's what happened where Simon Holmstrom did a penalty and they called Matt Barzell to the box even though he was nowhere near the play. Brendan Burke and like fucking Butch Goring were making fun of the officials so hard. They're like, so yeah, here's Simon Holstrom in the play, and here's Matt Barzell behind, but apparently he gets a penalty for skating.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an episode of Rink Side Chatter. Today has been a little different episode. We kind of more of an interview process with Kim and enjoying the conversation with Dusty and myself. So, Dusty, thanks once again for being my co-host. And Kim, thank you for graciously being present during this. Tell the people where they can find you.
I mean, find me under IslesGirl3, which is right here on the screen. It's my YouTube, it's my Twitter, it's my Instagram. You can find me in all 3 platforms. I try to post regularly, and I do my own podcast on my channel called Kim in the Crease, and you can come and hear everything about Islanders there.
Sweet. Dusty, where can everybody find you, man?
You can find me on the Puck and Stoner Dad show. We are on YouTube and all the other platforms.
And as always, you can find me right here on Rivet City Radio, Off the Top Media, on Mondays at 11 p.m. for Sorry for the Interruption, where we don't give a fuck about interrupting your night. And every Saturday or Sunday, depending on our schedule, right here on Rink Side Chatter. And if you want to find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you prefer to call it, it's that guy Shadow91. Come and hang out, have some fun, check out content. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.